Roster mania still in effect, but not as bad as it was the last couple of days. Obviously, we are expecting it to pick back up in the next couple of days. However, it's kind of been put on a slight hold as we've got announcements regarding the new season coming out and patch notes as well that have really taken main stage today. So let's talk about what's going on in the scene and dive right into Apex Esports. Of course, like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with everything going on. First, I wanted to make mention, not only are people coming back, we've seen Tech talk about coming back, Stunny also coming back to play in professional Apex. I thought a lot of people obviously would be leaving. Looks like I could have been wrong, which is good news. Some people are still contemplating obviously what they're going to do. Obviously time will tell, but it's not just about specific players. Another thing to think about that just kind of struck my mind is esports organizations. This was Omit. You guys remember Omit was involved in the scene and actually doing pretty good with that Gaming Gladiators roster that we see now. And unfortunately, they did not sign with Omit again. Omit was then kind of like pushed out of the scene. They decided to step away from everything. But anyways, the point in all of this is the fact that Omit may come back. Other organizations that left may come back. It may not just be players coming back. Maybe there's more to it, obviously, that we'll stay in tune with as well. Also wanted to make mention, Kinda, another Apex player who's been solid, one of the better controller players in the scene, also looking for a team in ALGS Year 5. Reps has also shot down the idea of a reunion of Hal and Evan getting back together, so it doesn't look like the old TSM roster will be coming back together at all. Furia, on the other hand, seems to be sticking together. Possibly Madness has been trolling over on Twitch saying that that's kind of the only roster change that they're gonna have is the Luka's going to the Lakers, so it doesn't look like they're gonna be splitting up, which I like. That team is, you guys know that I've praised them a lot for sticking together. They've been together of a roster for so long now. If you don't consider the His Watson moment, I mean, they've been together for a very long time. So I liked that roster staying together. Hopefully we keep seeing more action like that. RKN also being a name added to that list of potential people to come back and compete in Apex. Who knows obviously what will happen, but like I said, not too much going on in the roster world as of yesterday. However, we are talking a lot about the future of the game. Let's dive in and talk about after this dev interview came out and basically said, here's the future of Apex. Now, the gameplay trailer was released today as well for the new season that's upcoming. They've announced a lot of things, patch notes and all of this. They've committed to 3 big things. Number 1, matchmaking. They've also committed to competitive integrity and the anti-cheat. All 3 of those obviously very important in the comp world, but maybe more so the competitive integrity over everything. So Apex 2.0 has obviously been a conversation. EA CEO pulls this out yesterday or day before yesterday in an earnings call to say they're about to bring such a major overhaul, not in season 24, but in general to the game. They're working on it. A major overhaul, so much that they're going to be, basically an Apex 2.0, if you will. Well, not that that is coming in season 24, but we are still getting some pretty interesting changes. Number 1, armors will now be capped at level 3, and that is purple. It can only be accessed after obtaining the red helmet. That's red armor. So now you're only going to be having purple armor throughout the game. Red armor is only if you got the helmet. All other helmets have been removed besides the gold and the red. POIs now on top of the actual POIs, you can actually see the names now. That's going to be a pretty cool addition, I think, for all gameplay, but even ranked, obviously. I think this is something that you just needed to have in the game. But how is this balancing going to go with helmets now? Now when you got a team with red armor, they're definitely going to have a big advantage here because it's so rare. Assault classes are also going to be getting a buff here. We'll go over their perks in just a second, but Ash also might be meta for ALGS. I mean, take a look at this. Her ultimate can now travel further, move through it faster, and has improved endpoint detection. The tactical snare also will now tether from its own location rather than the enemy target location. And this is a big new one. Passive for Ash, new omnidirectional dash ability called Predator's Pursuit, and it allows her to rapidly reposition in close combat or close the distance quickly on a tethered target, and you can upgrade it to 2 charges through her upgrade tree. That's pretty crazy stuff coming from Ash. Ballistic also getting some buffs. Crazy stuff going on there, but then you've got arsenals as well. One of the developers recently just said that one of the things that they didn't like about Apex that they're trying to fix is that the game's getting too complicated. There's too much stuff going on. They want to simplify a lot of this stuff. One of those things is the weapon system with these guns and attachments and such. Well, now they're adding arsenals to the game. This is going to be an arsenal station where you can go get the gun and attachment that you want. These are interesting additions, and I'm obviously interested to see how this simplifies the game and if it goes as good as they're hoping. Obviously, you've got some crazy stuff like mythic arc star skins that EA is still going to try to pump out. but that's always going to be EA. If the game gets better at its core, I think people will be fine with microtransactions. It's just that whenever they shove those things down our throat and the game's not getting better whatsoever. No arenas coming in season 24, it seems. Rank changes are pretty much just the only changes they've kind of said is that they're going to be receiving more changes over time. They're going to continue to evaluate ranked and try to fix it, I guess. But nothing too crazy. Assault classes, though, here's where the buff comes in. This is where you might see some ALGS meta shifts, because remember, the support class got their buffs in season 23, and you saw a massive shift in the meta because of that. Assault class will be getting that buff in this season, and a stowed reload perk will be added, and it is the new assault class perk, and it basically lets assault legends automatically reload weapons after 2 seconds, eliminating the need to reload manually. This mirrors the previous gold magazine attachment, which is now being buffed to match the stowed reload's power. Combat reserve is a second perk here, and it keeps extra ammo and red supply bin access while adding 2 inventory slots for ordnances like thermites, arc stars, frags, etc. Battle surge also is the third perk here, and battle surge activates when cracking an enemy, granting a speed boost, faster reloads, and enemy highlights for the team. Pretty crazy stuff here for assaults, but I think honestly when you compare this and the addition to specific legend buffs as well, like the Ash buff with this, it kind of gets a little crazy. So that's for your assault classes. 3 new changes to overall gameplay to look forward to in the new season as well. Syringes and cells will now be stacked in 6 per slot, with weapons having decreased time to kill. That's another one I'm a little worried about. The time to kill changing has already been kind of controversial in the past. This happening again, who knows? Time will tell. But with weapons having decreased time to kill, the healing items will be faster to use as well. The crawl speed of knocked players will also be increased. And then you've got some buffs here for assault rifles, buffs here for SMGs, some changes to pretty much every single gun they said would receive some balance update. So interested to see how that happens. And then also no plans for Seer in season 24. Who would have thunk it? I mean, this guy has just been at the bottom of the totem pole for quite some time. Nobody cares about him anymore, it seems. But anyways, that is your update for Apex Legends. And don't forget, that new gameplay trailer is down in the description below if you want to go take a look. We'll keep you up to note with big changes here in the esports scene, with roster mania, meta shifts, everything that can happen in an esports drama-filled world. Like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with everything going on. Until the next time, we'll see you all later.